They stayed together for the children, but once the children left, so did their marriage. Great divorce, as they call it, is real. It is rising quietly but rapidly around the world. And even here in Africa, homes that survive the hustle of early marriage, the stress of child raising, and the pressure of extended family are now breaking down when the children leave the house. Why? What is breaking long-term marriages? And why are couples who have weathered many storms suddenly giving up in their later years? And most importantly, how do you protect your marriage from becoming a statistic? That's what I'm going to be talking about, unpacking in today's video. Stay with me. Hi, my name is Taya Luko, relationship coach and counselor, and you are welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I talk about relationships, marriage, and all that good stuff that can help you enjoy and not endure your marriage, regardless of what season in life that you're at. Now, today's topic is heavy, but it is important. I'm diving into why long-term marriages are falling apart at record rates, and more importantly, what you can do to make sure yours isn't next. Now, 1 in 4 divorces today involve couples over 50. They are not newlyweds who have rushed into marriage. They are people who built entire lives together, raised children together, and then one day decided that they couldn't do it anymore. So, what is going on? This video, I'm going to be breaking it down. Let's start with what a grey divorce is. A grey divorce is the term that is used for rising divorce rates among adults aged 50 and older. The grey refers to grey hair, but it represents something deeper. Marriages ending after 20 years, 30 years, and even 40 years. Now, before we go further, let's be clear about something. Now, if there is abuse, extreme abuse, separation can be the healthiest option. But what the research is telling us is that many of these grey divorces could have been prevented. And so, what do we know about Africa? In Africa, the patterns are there. Increasing marital breakdown after mid-40s, quiet separations without legal divorce, older men and women living separate lives under the same roof. The rise of late life independence, especially among financially empowered women. Empty nest years, also revealing deep emotional disconnection. You know, it may not always show up as legal divorce in Africa, but the emotional divorce is everywhere. Now, let's look at what the stats are really telling us. We know from statistics that baby boomers have always had higher divorce rates than previous generations. You know, they came of age during the sexual revolution, women's liberation, and changing social norms. So they were more willing to divorce than their parents were. But something else is happening too. People are living longer. If you are 50 today, you might live another 30 or 40 years. So people in unhappy marriages are asking themselves, do I want to spend the rest or the next 3 decades in loneliness, in silence, in constant conflict? Now, here's another factor: women's economic independence and financial empowerment. Now, we know that in previous generations, women couldn't often afford to leave, even if they wanted to do. Today, more women have careers, have savings, and they have the financial resources to support themselves. And guess what? Statistics say that globally, 60 to 70% of gray divorces are initiated by women. Why is this so? Statistics also tell us that many women are tired of being emotionally neglected, unheard, unsupported, or carrying the load alone. Financial independence gives these women options that they didn't have 30 years ago. Then you also have the empty nest trigger, one of the biggest causes of gray divorce. That is what happens when the children have left the house. You know, for decades, children were the center of everything. You had the soccer games, the parents-teachers conferences, you know, the college visits, all of those things. And you found out that many marriages revolved around the children, around parenting the children. But when the children move out and the house becomes quiet, you suddenly realize that you are two strangers living together, barely talking to each other. Now, some couples have stayed together for the sake of the children. They kept the peace, they avoided difficult conversations, they kept up appearances because of the children, because they didn't want to disrupt their lives. But once these children are gone, there's no reason to pretend anymore. And that's when everything begins to fall apart. Now, the tragic part is that these couples spend so much energy on their children that they forgot to nurture their marriage. And the thing is, you can't just suddenly right what has been wrong in over 20 years. Now, I'm going to spend some time looking at the complaints from each gender's perspective. The women's complaints. The number one complaint that women have is emotional neglect. Women describe feeling invisible, unappreciated, taken for granted. They talk about lack of communication. Their husbands don't talk about feelings. Their husbands won't discuss the relationship, won't go to counseling. They've been asking for change for years, and maybe in some instances even decades, and nothing has happened. Then women say, I spent my whole life taking care of everyone else. Now I want to live for me. Many women also describe the feeling like they lost themselves in the marriage. They've been wife, they've been mother, they've been caregiver, and they are asking themselves, who am I? Now they want to take time to prioritize themselves and figure this out, even if it means for them starting at 55 or 60. Women are complaining about financial irresponsibility, lack of financial transparency, and of course, repeated infidelity, which is often a primary cause of emotional neglect. Now, what about the men's complaints? The number one complaint from men is lack of respect. They describe feeling criticized constantly. They describe being nagged. Nothing they do is good enough. They feel like they're always wrong, always the bad guy. They talk about sexual rejection. The physical intimacy disappeared years ago, and they feel like they're living with a roommate. They feel unwanted, they feel undesired. Now, many men say they feel unappreciated. They worked for 30 years or more to provide for their family, and nobody seems to notice or care. For the men, they feel that they did what they were supposed to do, and now they're being told that it wasn't enough. Men complain also of feeling replaced by the children, by their wives' careers, by church activities, and by family members. Then you have financial stress, pressure to provide, while your own needs are being neglected. You know, the truth is, both sides are crying out about the same thing. I want to feel loved and valued in this marriage. However, they express it differently. Now, critical things to note when it comes to gray divorces. The first is that people change over time. The person you married at age 25 is not the same person at age 55 or 60. You both evolve, and sometimes you can evolve in different directions. You develop different interests, different values, different goals. And if you're not intentional to grow together, you can grow apart. The second thing to note is that resentment can accumulate. Every unresolved argument, every broken promise, every moment of feeling unheard, it all builds up. But after years of sweeping things under the carpet becomes so bumpy that people begin to trip. The third thing you want to take note of is financial mismanagement. Money is one of the biggest drivers of late life divorce. Financial pressures, no clear plan for old age, different money habits, secret debts, irresponsible spending, financial stress left unmanaged corrodes connection. Then you have another big one, infidelity. Emotional infidelity, physical infidelity. At older ages, you find out that affairs are mostly emotional. And it starts small as companionship, and then it becomes an emotional replacement. What about retirement and midlife transitions? Retirement can change routine, midlife hormone changes, body changes, energy changes, and you find out that if couples are not able to renegotiate their roles and expectations, resentment can also build in that area. Then you have what people call, I have suffered enough. Now, this is especially common with women. Women feel that after years of emotional neglect, years of disrespect, years of abuse and communication breakdown, they've carried the home alone. They've carried the emotional load alone. They've been carrying the children alone. They've literally been carrying the marriage on their shoulders. Many women simply reach a point where they say, I cannot do this anymore. And for many of these women, it is not rebellion, it is simply exhaustion. Having said all of this, how do you avoid gray divorce? How do you avoid becoming a statistic? The first thing you must do is prioritize your marriage throughout your life. Don't wait until your marriage is in crisis to work on it. Your marriage cannot be the last on your priority list. It needs to be on top, and it needs to be on top consistently. Prioritize spending time together without the children, without distractions, to actually stay connected. Travel together, go on dates, learn to laugh and play. Have fun together. Do things that you did when you were young and in love. The second thing you must do to avoid a great divorce is to communicate like your marriage depends on it, because it actually does. Have regular, deep conversations about how you are both feeling per season of your life. Make sure that you're communicating from a place of love, not from a place of blaming, not from a place of judgment, and don't let resentment build for the next 20 years, only to explode when you want to communicate. Address issues when they are small. Have the hard conversations early. Number 3 thing you want to do is learn to evolve together. You are both changing. The question is, are you changing together or changing apart? Learn to support each other's growth journey. Don't try to stifle one another, and don't make it a competition, because it should never be. Be each other's greatest support system and cheerleader, and learn to respect your respective growth journeys. Plan together, dream together, make decisions together. Number 4 thing you need to do is to guard your friendship. Not everything must be serious. Laugh, play, do fun things. Build a solid friendship and guard it, because friendship is the glue of long-term marriages. Number 5 thing you must do is build intimacy at all 3 levels. Emotional intimacy, staying connected, listening to each other. Physical intimacy, adapt to your aging bodies without shame. Spiritual intimacy, praying, worshiping, growing together in faith, attending church together. Your intimacy must evolve with age. Number 16, seek help early. The marriage counseling, marriage coaching is not for broken marriages. It is for preventive maintenance. Don't wait until you are emotionally exhausted. If you're having trouble communicating, get help early. Start when things are good and you are both still committed to keeping them good. Number 17, practice gratitude and appreciation. This is simple, but it's also very powerful. Now, regularly express appreciation for your partner. Notice what they do. Thank them for what they do. Compliment them for what they do and how they look. Focus on what is working in your marriage, not what is not working. It's easy to take each other for granted and only notice problems. Learn to celebrate milestones and celebrate your wins. Celebrate your anniversaries and your birthdays. Mark occasions. Create memories. Number 18 that you want to do is maintain your individual identity. This is crucial. Keep your own friendships. Maintain your own hobbies and interests because you are still unique individuals. Don't expect your spouse to fulfill all your needs. That is putting too much pressure on them. Have friends, have hobbies, have things that you do that you enjoy doing, maybe with your girlfriends or your male friends, and that you enjoy doing outside of marriage. When you maintain your own identity and you bring that energy back to your marriage, you are able to offer much more to each other. Yes. So here is what it comes down to. Marriage is not a destination, it is a journey. You don't just get married and then you're done. You don't just make it to 20 years and then you start to coast. Your marriage is a living thing that requires attention, care, and maintenance through its entire life. The work you do at 30, at 40, at 50 determines whether you'll be celebrating many, many, many more years after or signing divorce papers later in life. Most great divorces didn't happen because of one big dramatic event. They happened because of thousands small moments of disconnection, neglect, and avoidance that accumulated over decades. The good news: you have power to change that trajectory, starting right now. Today, you can choose to invest in your marriage. You can choose to have those conversations. You can choose to seek couples counseling before it becomes too late. It's much easier to maintain a good marriage than to repair a broken one. And it's also much easier to repair a struggling marriage than to rebuild your life after divorce at 60. Honestly, it is. Great divorce does not happen overnight. It happens slowly, over years of silence, neglect, and emotional abandonment. Now, if you are married and you recognize any of the warning signs that I have talked about in this video, I want you to take action immediately. Please don't wait a second more. Don't sweep things under the carpet. Don't assume that things will fix themselves. Get counseling before it is too late. I offer one-on-one marriage counseling where I walk couples through a step-by-step rebuilding of connection process, communication, emotional safety, and all that good stuff. Now, what if your spouse won't go? I say go by yourself, because individual therapy can still help you understand your role in the changing dynamics of your marriage and what you can do differently. If you are a young couple, you're engaged, or you're newly married, I say to you, please don't enter marriage blindly. Get premarital counseling and get early counseling in your early years of marriage. Learn how to communicate effectively, learn how to resolve conflicts, learn money management, learn how to align your values before your cracks become wider and wider. Investment in early counseling is one of the biggest ways to prevent growing apart in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s. Your marriage is too precious to gamble with. Your future is too valuable. Your legacy is too important. So let's build marriages that last, and not just last, but also thrive. If this video resonated with you, do me a favor and hit that like button so more people can find it. Share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Drop a comment below telling me, what do you think is the number one things couples need to do to avoid great divorce? I really would love to hear from you. And if you want more content on building strong, lasting relationships, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. Remember, your marriage is worth fighting for, but you have to be willing to do the work. God bless you. As always, my name is Taya Luku, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.